This video is sponsored by Normandy 1998, Ash, Team Valor, and Truman. We resume as May and Watson lock eyes across the grassy field and officially begin their match, with the old man choosing his new pal Electrike, while May's strategy has seen her choose Aaron. As the match is called to begin, Watson as the veteran gives the rookie first move, which she accepts gratefully, encouraging the little iron armor Pokemon to ball itself up protectively for a near perfectly spherical defense curl. One so smoothly done it earns praise from the inventor and Brock alike, while Watson in turn chooses to meet this by having the lightning pup Pokemon on his side of the field unleash a howl to raise its attack to meet the challenge, before just as speedily asking for a spark with all the brave canine's power. However, instead of staying on the defensive, May shows off her own speed with commands, having Aaron follow up on its stat boost with a rollout, seeing the steel rock type quickly start spinning to meet Electrike head on for a collision that ends with the pup as the yelping loser. Looking at the girl with new eyes, Watson praised the intermediate level combo and the use of the rock rather than ground typing to take on electric types, reflecting that one doesn't usually see Aaron use rollout unless taught by a knowledgeable tutor. Not only that, but this sort of strategy isn't something he'd expect from a trainer so new to competitive battling, though it is at this point that he remembers May's companions, who while young are also quite skilled and full of promise, and so concludes that these kids must be training together to help each other grow. Good. He loves to see the next generation serve as magnets for each other's potential, though now he must play his part and prove himself a sufficient challenge to draw even more out of her. To this end, he has Electrike change tack to flight over fight, by attempting to zip around and elude Aaron's rollouts with quick attack, though it seems this will not be enough to put a dampener on the challenger's plans, as with each failed pass at rollout, Aaron simply comes back stronger, while Electrike's chances of a mistake grow as it begins to fatigue. With this combination of factors, it is only a matter of time before the electric type is struck again, boosting May's confidence, with this increasing with each successive hit, mirroring the power of rollout itself, which not only compounds, but also benefits from the same type attack bonus Ash had told her about when teaching her and Aaron the move, having figured it could serve them well thanks to experience with his own Fanpy. In this he is completely right, as it is only a matter of time before one empowered strike is enough to see Electrike be deemed unable to battle, though as May is about to learn, this compounding move can be a double-edged sword. This becomes clear when Watson brings out his Minun, who thanks to greater experience and agility is able to avoid Aaron's opening and strongest rollout yet, seeing it finally come to a clumsy stop, just as the gym leader orders an encore to lock his challenger back into its harder to control attack. As a chorus of claps and cheers from Minun fill the field, Aaron compulsively goes right back to rolling, and in turn, Minun continues dodging, though now it also strikes back with quick attacks, and even a thunder wave that successfully slows Aaron down, causing it to kick up a ton of dirt as its rotation is now more uneven. This actually gives May a flash of Ash-esque brilliance as she suddenly orders Aaron to roll out in place in order to burn through the effects of encore faster. Though refusing to be outdone, Watson attempts to tell his electric rodent to repeat the encore so they can keep Aaron locked in. However, before Minun can complete its task, the effects of the first encore wane, allowing Aaron to quickly swap to Mud Slap so that it stops spinning suddenly, causing all the dirt caught in its armor to go flying right into Minun's face unexpectedly, along with the mud that had been dug up, landing an ironically clean blow. This finally disrupts the tiny cheering Pokemon's graceful moves, leaving it vulnerable for a rollout, which Aaron all too happily resumes, eager to run over the electric type, while Watson and his partner hang tough and perform a rain dance that causes a dark cloud to form over the battlefield and shower down on it before Minun too is rendered unable to battle. The thought of her first sweep sees May's confidence grow even further, as well as the bond she's forged with the steel type through training, as Watson too has to let her know how surprised he is with how formidable of an opponent she is, vowing to take her more seriously with this last Pokemon despite her youth. This in turn makes Ash proud as a teacher, as he's now starting to get what Brock and Misty must have felt during those first few journeys as they guided him when he was still a novice trainer, and so cheers May on, telling her to bring this home and win herself that badge. Flashing a victory sign right back at him, May declares that he can count on it, though to her surprise, when Watson reveals his final Pokemon, it is none other than Minun's red counterpart Plusle. In spite of its similarity to a Pokemon she's already beaten, Watson warns her that Plusle fights very differently from its partner, and heeding this, May decides to increase Aaron's constitution with another defense curl, seeing the Steely Tank this time smartly miss a rollout on purpose to keep some distance between itself and the opponent, before stopping to curl up. However, instead of coming in close or trying to debuff them as Minun had, Plusle is immediately ordered to light Aaron up with a thunder, which thanks to the rain currently falling charges up instantly and soars into the air directly above Aaron at terrifying speed. Desperately, May calls for another rollout, but it's too little too late, as while the Iron Armor Pokemon is able to initially dodge the attack thanks to their training, Minun's Rain Dance has perfectly set its partner up, so the attack cannot miss, with a bolt of lightning redirecting in midair and closing in on Aaron, causing it to cry in pain as it is struck before its bright blue eyes turn to spirals, and it comes skidding to a stop in the dirt. For a moment, it looks like May might cry as her streak has been taken away from her, though showing some of the grit she's developed thanks to her life as a battler, she instead returns her friend with praise for how well it did, whispering to its Pokeball that their training really paid off, so she'll be sure to ask Brock to make it an extra special dinner tonight. Meanwhile, on the sideline, Max is in a state of awe, as his sister's growth from her battles against Roxanne and Brawly was already impressive, but now she's proving herself to have a genuine knack and grace for battling that's been bolstered by the presence of Ash, who he had so quickly blown off as just another early round washout when they met, but even he now seems like a much more experienced and cunning trainer. However, this sudden respect quickly fades when May decides to choose her Combusken next, as Max yells at her that this is foolish, because even if Meryl is weak to Plusle's attack, it'll get a power boost from the rain, while Combusken will get weaker in it, so she should switch immediately and wait out the rain. Though here Ash cautions him not to be so sure she's made a mistake, since Combusken is still her overall strongest, which may be needed against Plusle's power, and besides, it's not just a fire type. Agreeing with this, May proves herself to be on a similar page to Ash, as when Plusle attempts to take the fiery avian out with Thunder, it double kicks the ground while running, granting it a speed boost so that it may dodge the lightning. Unfortunately, like with Aron, this is only a temporary delay, as the Thunder begins chasing Combusken. Though having accounted for this, May has started closing on Plusle while extending its claw for a scratch. Having expected such a trick, Plusle weaves as best he can away from Combusken's claw in an attempt to try and nuzzle it and paralyze another of her Pokemon. Though having hoped Watson would try something like that, May quickly cancels the attack and has Combusken leap back, putting Plusle right between it and the Thunder closing in. Frantically, the cheering Pokemon attempts to get out of the way, though here too May has a counter, having her start to use Double Kick with the same impressive speed, not only to strike the electric type center mass, but to send it flying into its own attack. For a moment, a loud crackle fills the field, accompanied by the smell of burning fur. Then as the rain clears and Plusle hits the ground, it is plain to see that this match is over. Letting out a belly laugh as he hands her a Dynamo badge, Watson congratulates May and praises if she keeps learning from her friends, at the pace she's going, she'll be way above the level of a gym leader like her dad in no time at all. A claim Max somewhat questions, as while his sister is getting pretty good, his dad's still the best, causing May to tell him to zip it, though Brock suggests that maybe the bandana-clad girl shouldn't be so hard on her little brother, as in his own way, Max was trying to pay her a compliment. After this, the gang head through the Valley of Steel, where Ash gets his Torkoal as he wooden cannon, though upon catching it he makes note of how good a training partner will be for May and Combusken, and in turn, the experience will definitely help the timid Coal Tortoise fire up its own fighting spirit. Next, the events of Candid Camera Up take place much like they did in canon, except with May now being a budding battle maniac just like Ash, she winds up teaming up with him to defeat the Windstrait family together, earning them more high praise, and seeing them back on their journey a bit quicker so the events of I Feel Skitty don't actually happen, but those of Zigzag Zangoose do. In it, our heroes reunite with their friend Nikolai, and admiring his Zangoose as a powerful looking normal type, it is actually May who is the first to ask for a chance to battle it, especially after he reveals that it took on Norman, though admittedly they did get creamed. Showing his growing respect for his big sister, Max declares that she will keep up the new family tradition, while Brock offers to referee, and Ash gives May some last minute advice, despite having taken a battle he was looking forward to. Starting off strong, Nikolai reveals his Mudkip has evolved into a Marshtomp, with this posing a challenge to May and Combusken, but thanks to having suffered so much of Maryl's bullying and training, as well as the addition of Corfish to Ash's Hoenn team, the girl and her partner have plenty of experience with the water type. Not only that, but due to Combusken having Grovyle as a training partner and rival, the two starters have gained a significant understanding of Blaze and Overgrow, far greater than Nikolai has achieved with his starter, meaning even when Marshtomp does eventually wear the Firefowl down with Water Gun, Combusken strikes back with all its might, in the process transforming its inner flame into an outer one, as it drives a fiery shoulder barge into its opponent which increases its speed, rendering Marshtomp unable to battle, and revealing that it has learned Flame Charge. Next up to battle is Nikolai's Zangoose, though in an attempt to capitalize on the moment of distraction as May celebrates with her partner, and the shorts-wearing twerp is switching Pokemon, Team Rocket attempt to take Pikachu and interrupt things. However, thanks to being the one on the sidelines in this timeline and itching for a battle himself, Ash intercepts the trio and Seviper well before Zangoose can sense it nearby, using a double quick attack from Pikachu and Taylor which knocks the villains further into the forest, where Ash follows to teach them a lesson, allowing May to finish her battle. As Combusken is obviously tired, May swaps out for Meryl, who is eager to match Ferocity with a Cat Ferret Pokemon, though like most opponents who engage in this competition with it, the Aquamouse inevitably reigns supreme. But in general, this outcome is much better for Nikolai and his partner than what they'd endure in the canon episode. With this 2-on-2 over, everyone suddenly becomes aware that Ash is gone, only for the reason to be immediately revealed as the sound of something blasting off his herd, before the boy returns a moment later, with Pikachu and a mighty-looking Swallow perched on his shoulders, as he laughs that for once he's thankful for Team Rocket's decision to butt in, since that battle was just the push Taylor needed to evolve. Following this, the group and Nikolai part ways, though having seen the ferocity of one up close and personal, May has been inspired to catch her own Zangoose, even tasking Max to help her find one with his Pokénav. Luckily it seems her herd is not too far away, nearby, and following the Nav's directions, they find the group of normal types there in the process of leaving the area. At Brock's suggestion, they hang back a bit to observe the herd, as running into their territory could end badly, though it seems they're not the only ones doing so, as in a nearby bush, May spots a smaller than average Zangoose watching its fellows cautiously, with Brock surmising it must be an outcast from how studiously it's keeping its distance. Figuring this might be a last chance to catch a Zangoose with the others on the move, May approaches it, accidentally scaring the cat ferret, and as a result causing it to lose track of its friends. This quickly shows this Zangoose to be quite different from Nikolai's or the others of its kind, as instead of getting angry, it gets upset and flustered, clearly panicked at the thought of being on its own. Knowing the terror of uncertainty and the feeling of being out of place all too well, May cannot help but empathize with the small Zangoose, with this making it seem even cuter to her, as she eagerly offers it a place on her team, despite her initial attraction to the Pokemon having been the species' innate ferocity. A little tactlessly, Max asks if his sister is sure she wants that Zangoose, since it's kinda wimpy. Though smiling broadly, May refutes that she can tell it's got the makings of a champ, promising that she'll work with the normal types so they can get stronger together, a sentiment Ash heartily seconds, offering the assistance of his team as ever in this endeavor. Evidently happy to be so appreciated, Zangoose immediately accepts, forming a very strong and affectionate bond with May despite its initial fear of her. Not long after this, the team arrive in Lavridge due to not needing to stop in Fall Arbor for a contest, meaning it's time to take on this town's gym leader. However, once they enter the Pokemon Center, they learn from Nurse Joe that Lavridge actually has a new gym leader, a young lady who's taken the position over from her grandfather, who held the position for a very long time and so stands in high esteem. Hearing that her next opponent is a person with so similar an origin to herself due to also standing in the shadow of a great gym leader fires May up immensely, to the point she even eschews her other great love and food to rush Ash out of the cafeteria before they can even finish lunch, in order to go and get some last minute training on the center's battlefield. Never want to turn the battle down, and feeling quite the same even if it's less personal for him, Ash takes the opportunity to put his plans for Torkoal and Combustion into action. However, just as the two fire types begin warming up, the match is interrupted as a girl rushes onto the field to admire them. Being determined to battle the gym leader at her best, May does not appreciate this interruption, and so she is quite sassy when reminding the stranger of how rude they're being. Looking mortified at this faux pas, the newcomer bows deeply and apologizes, introducing herself as Flannery, the new gym leader, and claiming that she sometimes gets overexcited because she just loves fire types so much. At once, May's demeanor shifts, as she goes to apologize for her own rudeness and request a battle, though it seems she is too late, as having gotten over her bashfulness, the hothead of Lavridge Town beats her to the punch, begging both her and Ash for a battle right now. And that's where we'll leave things. What challenges await Ash and May in their Lavridge gym battles? How will their respective teams stack up to the red-hot passion of Flannery? And will their recent additions and evolutions be enough to turn the tide in their favor? Find out as the journey continues.